Hi, everybody. Let's do 7th grade C3, add integers using number lines. So we're always going to start on the first number. The first number in this problem is 8. So that means we would be starting at 8 over here. So already we know that this is the correct answer. But it's also important to understand that when we add a negative number, that means we would move to the left. So since we're adding -4 as opposed to adding +4, we're going to go to the left 4 spaces. So we start at 8 and then go to the left 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and our answer there is 4. So you just click on this one and then type in that the answer is 4. Okay, for this one, we're starting at -3. So in both cases here, they put us starting at -3, so we still don't know which one is correct yet. And then we're adding -3. Again, when you add a negative number, you move to the left. So this tells us that we would be going to the left 3 spaces. So that would be this one because it shows us starting at -3 and then going to the left 3 spaces. Okay, and we would land on -6. All right, let's jump ahead to the next level. 28 plus -16. So again, we're going to start on 28, and then since we're adding -16, we would move to the left 16 spaces. So that would be this picture right over here. You can see we started at 28, and then we moved to the left 16 spaces. Now you might be looking at that and thinking, wait a minute, we didn't move 16 spaces. We only moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. But if you look closely, you'll notice that we're counting by twos here. So even though I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little bumps there. Each bump is worth 2. So 2 times 8 is 16. So we actually moved down 16 units, okay? Which is what we wanted. So this is the correct answer. And if we do 28 and then go down by 16, we'll end up at 12. So 28 plus -16, or another way of saying that is 28 minus 16, because adding -16 is the same as subtracting +16. The answer is 12. -5 plus -7. So we're going to start at, remember, we always start at the first number. Okay, so we're going to start at -5, and then when we add a negative, we move to the left. So that would be this one over here. We're starting at -5, and then moving to the left 7 spaces, we would land on -12. I think so far it's only given me problems where we're adding a negative. Sometimes it gives you problems where you add a positive. I don't think we've seen any problems like that yet. Maybe the next one. Now it's giving me another negative over here. Okay, I wanted to show you guys a different example. 2 plus -4 means we start at 2, and then since we're adding a negative again, we move to the left 4 spaces. So that would be this one over here. Even though it might only look like 2 spaces, you can see here that we're counting by twos. So 2 times 2 is 4. So we actually moved to the left by 4. So if we, to make it maybe make a little bit more sense, I'll throw in these numbers over here that they left out. So you can see we actually went down 4 spaces starting from 2, right? So this one would be correct. So if we do 2 and then go to the left 4 spaces, we would end up at -2 right over there. Okay, I'm still looking for an example where they give us a positive number here. I'm going to move to the next level. Okay, so this one could be, I started at -1, and then I went to the left 8 spaces, right? To get from -1 to -9, I must have gone 8 spaces down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we were counting by ones here. So that would be -1 plus -8. And again, so far it didn't give me any examples where I would put a positive number here, but remember, if you're adding a positive number, you would move to the right. If you're adding a negative number, you would move to the left. Hopefully it gives me an example where we add a positive. No, again, it didn't. So this would be, I'm starting at 14, and then what would I need to add in order to get to 2? Well, I'm going to the left here, so I must be adding a negative number. And I must have gone down by 12 in order to get from 14 to 2. I must have gone down by 12. Okay? So 14 plus -12 is equal to 2. Again, it's always moving me to the left. I would love it for it to give me an example where we go to the right. So you could see that when we add a positive number, we move to the right, but it's only giving me examples moving to the left. Oh well. So I'm starting at -4 here. I'm adding something. I must be adding a negative number to move to the left. So if I started at -4 and I ended up at -9, I must have gone down by 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're also counting by ones here. So I went down by 5, so I'll put a -5 in there, and that would be -9. -4 plus -5 is equal to -9. All right, so this time it started us out with a positive number and we went down to a negative number. So let's try that one. So we started at +20, so we'll put a +20 in there. And we can see that we moved to the left. So this must be a negative number because when we add a negative, we move to the left. Adding a positive, we would move to the right. And how far down did we go? Now, you might count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, you might think that we should put a 9 in here, but that's actually not correct because if you'll notice 20, 15, 10, 5, 0, -5, we're counting by fives, right? So we have 9 bumps, but each bump is worth 5. So 9 times 5 is 45. So that should actually be 45 there. So 20 plus -45 is equal to -25. In other words, if we start at 20 and we move to the left 45 spaces, assuming that each space, if we were counting by ones, we would move down 45 little bumps, then we would land on -25. All right, is it going to give me any examples where we move to the right? No, it's just not going to help me out there. I really wanted to show you guys an example where you move to the right, okay? So this one is -12, and so we're moving to the left, so we must be adding a negative number there. And let's see here. We counted 1, 2, 3, 4, but if you look carefully, that's -12, -14, -16. We're counting by twos. So we have 4 bumps, and each bump is worth 2. So we actually went down by 8 because 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so -12 plus -8 is going to be -20. Now, if I had said, since it's not going to give me any positives, I'll just throw a positive in there. If we had done -12 plus 8, I should say plus +8, then we would be moving to the right 8 spaces, and we would have landed on -4, again, because each one of these is worth 2. So 4 of them means I went to the right 8 spaces. But that would be -12 plus +8 would be -4. I just wanted to show you an example where this number was positive. But -12 plus -8, that's the solution that IXL wants for this problem. And that's going to give us -20. All right. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. I hope that was helpful and have a great day.